Welcome to Gurus on the Spot, bringing you nuggets of well-being from the Indian wisdom traditions. I'm Veena Rampal, classical Indian dancer and spiritual coach. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Veena. Thank you so much for having me.
My first question to you is, as an Ayurvedic practitioner, what is the health issue that people come to you for most often? What's the most common thing that you see?
What it often boils down to is that people are suffering with stress. So their response to stress is really coming to light, and gut health. So these are the two key areas I think that I've identified that so many people are suffering, and they manifest in so many different ways actually. But these are the two key areas. So yeah, there'll be skin issues, respiratory issues, but when we look at where the roots of these issues are, right, it's either going to be sort of gut health or stress, I'd say.
Right. Okay, good. So we can say to people that whatever is manifesting, check in with whether it might be gut health or stress as the kind of core factor.
Ayurveda takes a very preventative health approach, really. So when we're staying in flow with our natural rhythm, then we're able to really get to understand what our triggers might be.
What is the Ayurvedic take on the coronavirus?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like everything else in Ayurveda, there's no quick fix, right? And so there's not a herb we can turn to immediately. I mean, there are herbs that we can take to sort of give ourselves a little bit of a booster, but it's not the root of helping ourselves to defend these viruses, any viruses or infections, really. So, we have the health quote in Ayurveda, highlights the reason why we need to take care of so much beyond just the quick fix. And if you don't mind, I'll say it for you, but it's samadosha, samadhatu, samagnishcha, malakriya, prasanna atma indriya, manasvasta itavidete. In order to have good health, and i.e. good energy, good immunity, good mindset, we need to have balanced doshas. We need to have, good fired up digestive system, clear body channels. We need to have clear senses, a calm mind. So we really do need to look at ourselves as a complete ecosystem as such. And so when we're bringing balance at the root of every level of ourselves, we will naturally build immunity, energy, good digestion. So these things are really important. So, in Ayurveda, immunity would really take this approach, if I'm honest, and then herbs and treatments will, of course, support that as well.
Okay. So the main thing really is the balance in every aspect of our being. And I think this is fascinating because for me, one of the great opportunities presented by the lockdown, by the virus, and by the fact that we are all being made to stop and reassess, I think it's really brought into clear view the fact that everything is interconnected, both out there, but also in here. And I think that is one of the gifts of Ayurveda, isn't it? And in fact, of all of the Indian wisdom traditions, that we see the interconnectedness of everything, and that balance, that samam, as you referred to, is important to be there in every aspect of ourselves. How can we start to bring that balance into our daily lives?
Yeah, I'd say, Veena, a couple of things really. So, we're going back to what we started the discussion with, where the key roots of a lot of health issues is stress and gut health. So let's start there. I mean, just by simply doing deep breaths, long elongated deep breaths, and being outside is one simple way that anybody, we don't need to have any knowledge or wisdom, but that's something we can apply very, very simply, just deepening and elongating our inhalations and exhalations. But then when you get used to that, we can adopt a lot of these yogic breathing techniques. And there's a reason why we do these breathing exercises. Some of them energize us, some of them calm us. So getting familiar with the Ujjayi, the Brahmari, the Shitali, the Vastrika, all of these incredible breathing exercises not only have an effect on calming the mind, but they have a physiological effect on our nervous system, our brain chemistry, our energy. We're oxygenating our blood. So there's so many, benefits actually to adopting some breathing exercises into your daily routine. So that's one thing I would definitely advise people to start. It's immediate, it's free, you can do it anywhere, any time. So there's really no excuse that I don't have X, Y, and Z in order to adopt.
Breathe.
Breathe. Yeah. What sustains our life? Breath is, pranayama means, and this, Veena, pranayama means, exercising of the breath. These are pranayamas there. Prana means life force energy. So when we're exercising our life force energy, we're feeling more expansive. We're connecting with our consciousness, connecting with our soul. But at the same time, the physical body is also benefiting. Yes. So that's one area I would definitely recommend for everyone to adopt immediately, straight away, as soon as you put the phone down. In Ayurveda, we pay a lot of attention not just to nutrition and what we're eating, but actually how and when we're eating. This is so important, and we really miss a trick in the West when it comes to these things, because it's the magic in how and when we're eating, where we're eating as well, that really shows us where the balance needs to come. So when it comes to sort of our eating patterns, is eating when we're hungry. It's some people never even question it half the time, like, am I actually hungry? And asking ourselves that question, am I hungry, indicates to us that our digestive system is now ready to break down and process the food. So key rule number one, if you're not feeling hungry, don't eat. And now that we're in the summer, our appetite definitely reduces. So we might eat a lot lighter, might eat a little less, maybe we'll scale down to 2 meals a day. So just, again, it's being a little bit more intuitive and listening to your body's signs rather than taking the information from an external source. Just listening a little bit more to our body. And then there's, eating consciously. So engaging our sensory organs, sitting down, slowing down, because that allows us to control our portions, because our brain is now engaged with the process of eating. So we intuitively start to feel full. When it's the right time to stop eating, we will. And we want to drink less water with meals, because we don't want to douse our digestive system with too much water. So it's just small things like that, reducing the dry processed foods, the dehydrated foods, the prepackaged foods. So we're having natural foods in the diet, which are full of prana. So we have a lot of incompatible foods that creep through in our diet. And that's usually breakfast time, where we're having granola and yogurts and fruits. So
I came to see you, one of the things you said to me was, remember, Veena, breakfast doesn't have to be sweet. It can be savory. I've never forgotten that.
Yeah, it's true. When we're talking about digestion, we're not talking about calories, we're talking about taste. And each taste in the body has an impact. The fruits digest very differently. So when we combine them with dairy or grains, they don't digest as efficiently in the system. So
if I sit cross-legged and eat, I digest much better, and my relationship with the food is completely different. And I had a yogi explain to me that the reason for that apparently is that when you sit cross-legged, because you've pulled the legs up, they're not hanging down, the prana that's in the belly is able to focus more on digestion. There is such a stark difference. There is such a stark difference between when I sit cross-legged and eat and when I sit at the table. So that would be my observation, is if you can sit cross-legged and eat, do that, because that will really help as well.
When you look at the Indian tradition, the traditional way of eating, you'd sit cross-legged on the floor, but that movement as well, as you're taking each morsel and moving back and forth, has an impact on what's going on in the digestive system. So that again, it's controlling the portion as well. So
that's so interesting. Is there one Ayurvedic protocol that you wouldn't live without?
I've been doing it since I think I had teeth, and that's tongue scraping, a U-shaped metal instrument to remove the debris from the tongue. And when we're removing the debris from the tongue, we're removing all the bacteria, all the digestive toxins that have accumulated overnight. But it's also tingling our taste buds now. So it allows us to taste. Our taste perception can really become enhanced.
I know that that also enhances the way that your skin looks. And that's probably one of the reasons that you always have this wonderful radiant glow, Geeta. So on that note, I want to know, can you give us some skincare tips?
Skincare tips, $1 million question. It really is, Veena, from having a good, diverse diet, plenty of water, and when it comes to topical skincare, for me, I just think less is more.
Right.
I'm not the type of person who has any particular skincare routine, if I'm honest with you. I use oils in the evening, maybe rosehip oil or some kumkumadi, traditional oils.
Yes.
Sometimes cleanse with rose water, using a natural clay earth to do a face pack. But really, you don't want to do too much.
Yes.
Less is more.
Less is more. And also what you said earlier about it's the beauty starting from within, that again is about the gut, isn't it? So beauty begins in the gut. I think that if you're eating right, then all the toxins are being flushed out, and that's reflected on the skin. Is that correct?
100%. So, two things are happening, in the process of digestion. One is we're nourishing our body tissues. So the nutrients will be nourishing the body tissues. So it's, the skin is one of the last tissues to get nourished in our system. So if you are having glowing skin, you can be rest assured that at some level your inner organs are also being well nourished. So that's really important. And that will go with hair, skin and nails as well.
Right.
These are considered byproducts of our inner body tissues. Yes. So, when we're taking care of our inner body health, we're going to radiate, we're going to have that luster.
Because I remember a few years ago, oil pulling became this absolute fad. So what is your take on oil pulling, yes or no?
Well, first of all, it's a massive yes. But I think we have a little bit of misconception about, it's not pulling. But oil pulling, the gandusha, the traditional method, is retaining warm oil, first of all, not cold coconut oil and then letting it melt in the mouth. No, it's got to be warm when it goes into the oral cavity, about a tablespoon, and just holding it there. Okay. And the timing would traditionally be dependent on when we see the body's response to feeling that it's ready to expel. And that means that the nasal passage may water a little bit, the eyes may water a little bit. And we would be using, traditional medicated oils. So herbs are also helping us to draw out the impurities in the ENT area. Potentially it's helping with gum diseases, so abscesses, tooth decay, ulcers. It's enhancing our taste perception, like does tongue scraping. So there's a myriad of health benefits to this.
But should people be doing it at home? If they don't have herbal oils, is it okay to use warm coconut oil, for example?
Yeah, I think it's fine to actually take on that practice. But if you're having particular health issues, oral healthcare issues, then I would speak to a practitioner, because they may be able to recommend specific oils and specific methods, because we wouldn't want to do this practice if we're having like a really heavy buildup of mucus as such. So there are times when you wouldn't want to do it.
If people want to get in touch with you, they can contact you on Instagram and Twitter at Geeta Vara.
On my website at geetavara.co.uk. That's GEETAVARA.co.uk. You're welcome to subscribe to my newsletter, and I always send out lots of tips and information.
Wonderful. That is fantastic, Geeta. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you can connect with Geeta, and you can connect with me at Veena Rampal on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you so much.